Welcome, everybody, to the best movie opinions of the year. Today, we're counting down the top 10 movies of 2022, so let's get right into it. Number 10 on my list is going to be Prey. The last Predator movie I heard was a big stinker, so I was going in with low expectations, but I was blown away with how much I loved it. I liked everything up to the end. Everything was super visually stunning. I loved every scene. I loved the environment. I loved the characters and the relationships between them. I loved everything in this movie except for the ending, which happened a bit too fast for me. But I understand that that's the most realistic way that she would have been able to kill it, was with its own technology. Moving into number 9, we have The Menu. The Menu was really fun. I went with one of my bestest friends from school. It was amazingly entertaining. I was not expecting it. I think I only seen one trailer beforehand. I had no clue what this movie was about. All I knew was they go to an island and then the chefs hunt them for food. That's what I thought was happening, but I was completely wrong. My favorite part about this movie was being able to connect the characters in the movie to people we knew in real life. So when the main chef said stuff like, "This is terrible, you should be ashamed of yourself, you are nothing more than sludge at the bottom of a river," I knew exactly, we both knew exactly who the other person was thinking about. It was such an amazing experience. Like, I don't think I would have had as much fun if I went alone, but overall, I think, like, the characters were extremely well done, and the movie takes place mostly within this one kitchen, which I thought was really cool, and the ending really does feel earned, which I was happy about. Number 8, I was surprised that I liked Hustle as much as I did. I tried watching Adam Sandler's Uncut Gem about 4 times, but I kept turning it off around the "I'm Gonna Come" scene. I was pleasantly surprised with being able to like these characters and get into it. I really like the Rocky-like montage of him training to get better. The relationship between him and the other player, like always getting into fights and stuff like that, overcoming that whole debacle. But I think the reason I like this most of all was because it got me to care about basketball, which is a sport I find super boring and I hate it. But overall, this was such a really good movie and I do recommend. Number 7 was Barbarian. I was surprised how much I liked this movie because I went alone. This is the first time I went alone to a movie, especially a horror movie, for my first time. And it was also the first time I screamed in a theater, but that was more because there was a woman sitting behind me, and when they went into the basement the first time the monster comes on screen, she screamed in my ear, which caused me to scream, and they were laughing at me. But other than that, I think, like, this movie was extremely well done, except for I didn't really enjoy the ending that much. Everything within the house and the homeowner, I really loved all of that, and the only part I didn't like was when they find refuge in a water tower or something like that, and then the ending felt more comedy than horror, which I didn't really like. But other than the ending, I thought this was an amazing movie. I'm super glad I went and seen it alone. Uh, but yeah, Barbarian was amazing. Number 6 is The Batman. The Batman, I'm surprised I didn't see more than once, but this movie was, like, crazy to me. Since, like, before this, I've only ever seen, like, Marvel movies. I don't think I've seen a DC movie other than Man of Steel, but that was on my phone. Yeah, no, The Batman was definitely my second most hyped up movie behind the flop that was Doctor Strange 2. But I really loved how Gotham City its own was, like, its own character. I love the Riddler and, like, the effort put into this movie, and I'm super excited and hoping that with the new James Gunn being leader of DC, that this universe keeps building. I think the Penguin show is still coming out, or Penguin movie, I'm not sure what it is, but I'm really excited to see where this universe goes. I was a bit disappointed that they're doing Joker again, but with the actor who's playing it, he looks really messed up. I love the makeup done on him, but I'm really hoping that eventually down the line we get a Scarecrow in this universe. But overall, this movie was really good, and I'm surprised I never seen it again this year. This is the midway section of this video. I wanted to dedicate a section for all the movies I wanted to see, but never got a chance to. The movies I never got to see were Memory, Violent Night, Terrifier 2, Amsterdam, Avatar Way of Water, Bros, Bullet Train, Puss in Boots, Pinocchio, and Sea Beast. Again, I never got a chance to see these movies, but I wanted to recognize them anyway. But moving on to number 5, going into Nope. Nope was my first Jordan Peele movie, and it was insane as people say. I was blown away from the visuals. I loved the alien in this movie. It looked visually stunning, the way it reacts to the characters, really cool. I enjoyed it a lot. There were a lot of silly moments, which I didn't really like, but overall, visually stunning. I thought it was really interesting the way the characters learn about the monster and how the monster actually reacts and how they ended up trapping it. Overall, this movie was crazy. I recommend if you haven't seen it yet. But moving on to number 4. Glass Onion was one of my most hyped up movies of the year. I watched the first Knives Out mystery earlier this year, and I wanted to go see this in theaters, but it was only playing in 1,000 theaters, I think. But the one near me wasn't chosen. So I waited patiently for this movie to come out, and it was insane. I loved the mystery. I loved how clever everything was written. All the actors were amazing. One of the reasons I watched it was the actors, but everything had me second guessing myself, but overall, yeah, this is a really fun movie, and I recommend it. It's really good. So the next top 3 movies, it was really hard for me to choose. They're all 10 out of 10s in my book, but number 3 is Babylon. I went into this movie knowing 3 things. This is going to be my first Brad Pitt movie outside of his 1-second role in Deadpool 2. Margot Robbie's in it, and Tobey Maguire had some really messed up teeth. I was blown away by this movie. I was not expecting to have as much fun, as much love for this movie as I did. It was a movie about movie making, which was really insane to me. I loved it. The introduction to this movie was awesome. It's crazy, jam-packed, full of blink and you'll miss it moments. I don't even know what to say about it. It was amazingly cool. I would not have imagined a movie like this. And especially, I hate time jumps in movies, books, whatever. But it was really done well in this. And the ending, ending had me crying. It was beautiful. I love this movie. And if you love movies, I highly suggest you watch this. So if I'm being honest, number 1 and number 2 are tied for first place for me. But I spent a few days, the reason this is coming out so late is because I couldn't choose which one I liked more. But, so I'm going based off of rewatchability. So number 2 is Everything Everywhere All at Once. I can never say this name right. But I am so thankful that I got a chance to watch it, or I pushed myself to watch it because it was not playing in theaters around me. This movie was insane. I loved everything about it. I loved the relationships between each character, how the multiverse works in this movie. It was, to me, it was very unique. It looked amazing. Every character is very interesting. Every action scene is very well done and had me engaged. Every relationship is amazingly thought out. The ending of this movie I loved. I was crying for hours afterwards until I passed out, but the message of this movie at the end, or what I got from it at least, I loved it. The only reason that it didn't win first place was because I just don't have the desire to ever watch it again. I might once, soon, maybe not soon, but down the line I might rewatch it, but this movie was crazy. I loved every moment. There wasn't a moment where I was disengaged with it, but it was such an inspiring movie, and I'm so glad I got to see it, and I recommend it to everybody. Before we get into the number 1 movie, I wanted to have some honorable mentions for this list, and some of them are a bit controversial, but number 1 was The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. This movie was really funny, but the only reason it never made it to the list was mainly because I don't remember anything except for Nick Cage getting high. That's the only thing I really remember from the movie, but I remember having a good time while seeing it. The second honorable mention would be The Atom Project. I love this movie. I love the relationship between characters, but the only thing I really remember is how Ryan Reynolds gets to this timeline and then a bullet or something happening at the end. I don't know. The end seemed a bit messy, but I really did like this. I think I've seen it twice now. But the most controversial one would definitely have to be Black Adam. This is definitely one of my favorite movies of the year, probably over Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Not because it's a better movie, but mainly because of the sound and how it's just a 2 hour action movie or action scene. Sorry. There's hardly a moment of downtime. There's some like normal people stuff that really sucks and is boring to me, but everything with Black Adam fighting the Justice Society or Sabak, really fun. I loved how many Easter eggs were in here. Such a like jam packed full movie, and I think The Rock definitely got that right with how much is actually in this movie. The music in this was amazing, and that's really the reason I like it so much. But getting into the number one movie of the year, it's definitely Top Gun Maverick. I have never had a movie experience like Top Gun Maverick. It was insane. I think a big part of this, why I liked it so much, was mainly because I watched the first Top Gun for the first time a week beforehand, which definitely factored into why I liked it so much. I love the relationships between Rooster and Maverick. That was like the main thing I liked, but there wasn't a moment in this movie where I felt disengaged. I could rewatch this 100 times. Honestly, the only reason it's not my number one all time is because I love Spider-Man 2 so much. But it definitely had me questioning if Spider-Man 2 really was the greatest movie of all time. But I decided it is. But yeah, no, I've never had a theater experience like this. Adrenaline pumping through me, so emotional. I loved how like there's so many moments where my mouth gets dry. I feel the action. I love Top Gun Maverick, and I've never spent as much money on merch for any other movie than this. Even though my room's full of Avengers Endgame or not Endgame Avengers Infinity War stuff and stuff like that, but never, yeah. So again, Top Gun Maverick, number one movie of the year, amazing movie. If you guys would like to see more things like that, leave a like on this video. I'm definitely going to be doing another top 10 movies of the year list at the end of 2023. I'm really excited for stuff like Cocaine Bear. I think 80 for Brady looked really funny. And there's just so much happening in 2023. I'm really excited. And again, if you guys enjoyed, want to see more of these types of videos, leave a like. Let me know if I had some bad takes in the comments. And that's it. Bye.